I'm speaking with Janet Marletto. We're talking about a deal she did here and where she made herself some money. Janet, talk a little bit about this house. I see the picture with the trees. You were telling me earlier it's got a little, how much land do you have there?
Almost a full acre. It has 0.92 of an acre. And it's in a part of town that's very, very desirable because with that kind of land and with that zoning in that area, people have horses, people can have a big garden, and my buyer, in fact, is thinking of using it before he does too much. He's thinking of not only of doing all the renovations required, but also using part of the land as putting a storage container on it for his supplies and so on, since he does a lot of fix and flips.
Awesome.
And that would be helpful for him too. So it's a creative way of looking at the opportunity as something that house could become like a mother-in-law house, and then another house built on the property to specs.
Right.
Or it could be used for horses, or it could be used with a large garden. I mean, with that size property and with a good deal. And what's interesting about this deal, my first deal, is that there are issues. There was an issue with the well, an issue with septic.
Mm-hmm.
But because my realtor was so good, my buyer was so good, they were able to negotiate with the seller that the seller basically is paid for, if not half, almost all of those issues.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm showing here right now on the screen a copy of a check for $5,000 from Fidelity National Title Company. Gosh, Janet, it's got your name on it.
Yes, I really earned that one, Ted. The effort, put in the time, and then you have to let go. Once it's under contract, I had to learn not to do anything but just talk to the realtor, not muddy the waters with my talking to anybody but my realtor. So I learned big lessons in this deal, and as a result, that same buyer is eager for me to come up with other deals, because even though there were issues, because the spread was big enough for him for profit, he could deal with those issues.
That's awesome.
He didn't want to back out because he said it was still worth his while. And on top of that, I had a backup buyer for that property.
Yeah.
He was just 2 hours after the other one saying that he wanted it, and I said, I'm sorry, somebody else has it, but if anything happens with this, do you want to be would you like me to turn it over to you? And he said, yes, indeed.
Well, that's cool. Now, I have a picture of the 3,000-year-old kitchen here.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be redoing everything. I mean, he's experienced. He's done a number of homes in different parts of town, and he knows what sells.
Right.
And he happens to be a realtor.
Well, there you go. And you know what, Janet? I think before we're done showing these pictures and everything, the people that are listening are going to get a chance to figure out why this is a good deal and what can be done with this thing and what is so beautiful about it. The kitchen, yeah, okay. But now here we have Henry's Model T storage shed in the back.
Yeah.
And it's definitely what's he plan to do with that? Is he going to just tear that down, or is he going to try to do something? It's huge.
I'm not sure yet. I have to talk to him about it. He and I are going to be meeting. The fact is, out of this, we've developed a rapport. He now calls me for advice. He calls me for networking, because I go to real estate investor meetings, and I'm getting to be known. And he's following up. I was able to provide him with different resources, and it's been nice, just developing rapport with realtors. So this is really interesting, because I got this through a realtor through the MLS. The person buying it is a realtor, but he said, Janet, I don't have time to do all that research.
Right.
So he I like using wholesalers.
Indeed.
So it's been really, it's been a learning experience, and to find good realtors who are willing to put in the strategic offers is the key.
Right. And I agree with that. And the picture, even though we're showing the old shed there, you can see the acreage there, that there's some room there. I'm going to move on to the next picture. The next picture shows it a little bit better. You're not looking at the shed, you're looking at some of the beautiful trees in the backyard, and you've got some room to play. You could have a nice get together, bring the family over back there. I could just see how nice that. There's a lot to really like about this property. There's
Right.
no question about that. Absolutely.
And it was sold through an estate. The lady had passed away, and it's her heirs who were selling this. So everything was based on. I think they may have had other properties as well. Often in these estate situations, there are multiple properties, and they're happy to unload them. And I was when my realtor called me to say they want a counter offer. We just both were so excited.
Yeah.
And then they accepted my offer.
That is so
and that
cool.
was thrilling.
That is so cool.
So all in all, it was a good learning experience. It took a while because we wrote the contract on August 8th, and we were supposed to close on August 22nd, but then these issues came up.
Well, you know what you see here as far as inside the house, and I'm looking at the long picture of the big room. Looks like it's a family room, and you can see all the way down the hall into the next rooms. And what I'm looking at as I look at that, Janet, is the bones look pretty solid here. I mean, it's got the old 1952 Spit Curls and Bobby Sox paneling,
Right.
but it's not rocket science to get rid of that, if you know what I mean.
Right. And my buyer is very well experienced in the rehab and getting it the way, he knows what sells.
Well, and that's what I'm really trying to get, where you can appeal in your presentation here to some people that are struggling with this concept of how to make money in this business, and to understand what you're looking for. You're not looking for something with the morning sun and the breakfast nook and the south-facing circular driveway and 2 sinks in the master bathroom. You're looking for something you can sell, fix it up, and sell it to a first-time home buyer, or somebody that's got a little more money than a first-time home buyer, and that they'll
Exactly.
readily like it. And this is exactly what they're looking for.
Well,
So-
exactly, and I have another one that I just put an offer in today on through a very congenial realtor, and it's going to take like $55,000 worth of renovation to work on it, and but this one, what's so good, Ted, is when I talked with you and I had a barrier, and my barrier is that I was listening to all these phone seminars, which I recommend highly. I've listened to most of them 5 or 6 or 7 or more times, and it was kind of a scripted thing, and I don't do scripts. I am able to improvise, and it bothered me that I was going to have to use a script that didn't sound like me. And once you said, Janet, you don't have to use that script, I was ready to go. That's what kept me from doing things. And so once I got over that hurdle, and that's why I love the mentor line so much, is because anytime I get to any little bend in the road that could be an issue, I call the mentor line, and I get support, and I get ideas, and I get go for it, Janet, kind of encouragement. And that's why now I'm writing 5, 6, 7 offers at a time. And like this current realtor said, yes, I like it when you group it because I can do the e-contract quickly that way. I just open another contract, and it already has your template in it.
There you go.
So, the thing is that as you progress, and as long as you're willing to be coached, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
Don't think you know it all.
That's
But
true.
the other thing is, whenever I look at a listing and it says move-in ready, da-da-da-da-da, I put, no, I don't want it. And I just click on the trash can, saying no. It's not about what I like. It's how the numbers look.
Exactly. Well, I'm showing a picture of the bathroom, and it obviously needs some work. There's no question about that. And I'm
They'll probably
sure,
tear it out.
yeah, whatever they're going to do. And I wanted to show here also. I showed a copy of the check, but I also wanted to show a copy of your contract through Catherine Brown Swain, I guess is her name. She's the listing broker, and Tammy Warringer, I guess is that her name, the selling broker.
She's my realtor.
Yeah, see, and you can work with a real estate agent and make money, provided you. What a lot of people don't understand, they struggle because here's the problem with the real estate game, and I want people to understand this that are watching this. 80% of the people that become an agent this year are not going to last through this time next year. They won't be an agent, if you know what I mean. They'll be gone. And the second year has an equal fallout. But after that, if you can find an agent that will work with you, that understands what you're doing and is willing to be helpful, it's like you died and went to heaven. And I think you've got some agents that work with you and do the job for you and allow you to have some fun in this business. No question about that, Janet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And it takes a little bit, and if you just go with the flow and relax and just be on the alert for realtors. And like yesterday, when I ran into a hurdle where my realtors were all seeming to have, I don't know if it was real or contrived, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't able to submit contracts because they weren't able to do it for me. I started looking at business cards that I collected at the different real estate investor groups, called these people. They had just met me. They know me. They've seen me at multiple meetings. They know I'm in it for real. And that's why the name of my LLC is Real Deal 8. Because,
that's cool.
Because I am the real deal and they know it. Then I was able to talk to them, and they started referring people that they thought would be good to work with me. And through that, I ended up with some really good people. Yeah. And it's just nice. You know, sometimes you run into a hiccup, and it turns out to be really something golden. And so I'm at the point I want to have 5 or more realtors. And as I'm sitting here, I've got contracts popping up from the realtor who's writing these for me today.
Well,
and I told him I would be available from 9 to 10 this morning, and I'm not kidding. I got on the computer this morning, and there was one, and then he called me, make sure everything was okay, and he's doing the rest, and we talked, and it's nice.
One last thing I wanted to go over before we shut down. I don't want to abuse the privilege that YouTube gives me to make a longer video. They don't want anything over 15 minutes, and we're probably going to be over that already. But the thing is that what you've done since you started is you've gotten to where you're not emotionally involved in any particular deal, and I really think that is a key. What do you think?
Oh, I think it is the key. The key when you can look at it just for the numbers, and that's where the training comes in. Also, I like numbers, and I've dealt with numbers a lot in my past careers, and I understand, and also the fact that I'm a feng shui consultant means I know how to walk into a house and detach. I don't. It doesn't matter to me how it's decorated or whatever. It's not mine. It's somebody else's, and I'm doing this for someone else. And when you think of that, is you're doing this so that a young couple or people who have not been able to buy a house before will be able to get a house that's in their range, but is a nice house.
Yeah, exactly. And this is an ideal for a young family. You've got some place for the kids to play where they're not going to get hit by an onrushing truck or something. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. Well, Janet, I'm going to try to sum this up. If you had anything else you wanted to say, and then we'll shut the recording down.
I just want to say that I have felt guided to do this, and I am very grateful to Response and all of the mentors and all the guidance and the boots on the ground and everything. But I'd like to mention that this was all done before I even had boots on the ground, because I did the study and I worked with the mentors and I was open, and I want to make this happen.
Indeed.
This is serious for me. This is not a hobby. This is a career for me.
Well, Janet, I have certainly enjoyed working with you, as have others. And we're blessed to have students like you that are willing to do what they're asked to do, because it makes a difference. So I'm going to figure out how to shut this recording down, God willing. Hold on. How do I do that? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to stop.